Hi, welcome to Jazemporium today. Okay, so today we're kind of switching up the information. Instead of me just doing tarot readings, you're probably wondering, why is my table practically empty except with this pile of stones here? Well, there's a reason for that. I also, in Jazemporium, am very much a gemstone collector and avid gemstone person to talk about gemstones. So in Gemstone Enthusiast, I will also be teaching about different types of magical item stuff, such as essential oil blends, potions, different types of knowledge about witchcraft or about magic in general. So, I mean, today in this video, we're going to be talking about gem emerald and what is facts and different types of properties, different types of metaphysical stuff and or legends about the gemstone emerald or anything to do with gem emerald in general. Okay. Well, let's get started, folks. So here's my facts about emerald. Okay, so what is an emerald? An emerald is a beryllium silicate or beryl. It's in the beryl family. So again, I'm going to show off my lovely pieces. Here you go. That's my beautiful emerald. I hope you can see it in the lighting. So you're probably thinking, well, Jazz, you don't own any gemstone quality emeralds. But they're relatively available in rough pieces. Okay, so I mean, these are quite gorgeous. I mean, I know they're not like sparkling diamonds around it. I know there's no gold around it, but it's still very, very beautiful. Okay, so back to the thing. So what is an emerald? So an emerald's part of the beryl family. So a beryl is about a 0.75 to 6 on the hard scale of the Mohs hardness scale. That's pretty freaking hard. Comparing to that, diamond is actually a 10. So the hardest material. So emeralds, the word emerald comes from the word esmeralda or esmerald, which means greenstone. So this gemstone, emerald, was mined first with Egypt. So the more chronological stuff that we found about emeralds throughout our time, the earliest one dates back in Egypt. So Cleopatra apparently wore this stone. So it must tell you a bit more about her. She must really like the beauty of this gemstone, and she was a beautiful queen, or I should say pharaoh, or a beautiful ruler. And she had a very sharp mind, which we'll get to why that's very relevant for Cleopatra and many different other people that use this gemstone. So emerald, again, it gets its color from chromium, which is a green. And emerald only comes in green because, again, other materials are from the beryl family. So you're probably like, well, what's a beryl? So beryl is anything from white beryl or clear beryl, which is known as just beryl. Big spite, which is a red variant of beryl. You have aquamarine, its sister, water of the sea, very blue, green, almost like the top I have on. And then you have morganite, which is a very beautiful pink, and hallador, which is yellow. So that's what they call the beryl family. Again, with beryl, so why is it called a beryl? The beryl is in a hexagonal shape. So when you have, again, I don't know if you can see it in this piece. Let me see here. Well, it shows it right here. So like right here. So when beryl or emerald grows, it grows in a 6 hexagonal shape. And it usually grows alongside tourmaline and other different crystals. That's why you see black inclusions with the emerald sometimes. That could be its matrix or to do with the tourmaline that's inside it into it. So again, emerald, like I said, gets its color from chromium green. Again, and it's also, like I said, it was in many different types of cultures. So, for example, it was also in Egypt, but did you know that emeralds were also found in Inca? So any type of Inca or Spaniard cultures, like the Incas. So the Incas, they used to carve their emeralds into fishes and little different types of ornaments, flowers. Again, because it's known for its beauty. So the Incas would use it to put alongside their dead just as much as the Egyptians. They would use this emerald stone for growth and prosperity in their culture. Emeralds were also very prevalent in Greece. And when a young person died or a virgin died in Greece, they would oftentimes put an emerald for a young person to represent the youth and renewal. Emerald, again, has that resurrection quality, which I will get into the video why that's prevalent too. So again, with this emerald, another culture that deals with emerald, you have the Greeks, you have the Egyptians, you have the Incas, but you also have Middle English too, that dealt with emeralds. See, emeralds were very useful in many elixirs and healing qualities back in the medieval times. So a lot of different countries and cultures utilize emerald for their, again, their beauty, sometimes their medicine regimens, sometimes emeralds would be used for cultural things, but oftentimes emerald just be used for adornments and wearing. So, I mean, if we're going to talk about modern day uses, emerald was seeked out by Richard Burton, which would be Elizabeth Taylor's husband. He had an extensive gemstone collection of beautiful different types of emerald. It was one of his favorite ones that he liked to collect, and he gave it to Elizabeth Taylor when he passed away. Marlene Dirge, a beautiful actress from the 1940s and 50s, she one time lost an emerald ring in a cake. I mean, that's a pretty sweet deal, but that would be a very scary situation. Can you imagine you chomping down on a cake? Next thing you know, you break your teeth on a piece of emerald? Not a good time. Again, because anything past 5 in the Mohs scale is harder than tooth enamel. So think on that, people. You gotta bite down a slice of cake and you hit your teeth on a emerald gemstone and your teeth breaks. But yes, again, with the emerald, emerald is sought out by many different people. Gorgeous jewelry. Even emerald has its own cut. So when you have a piece of emerald, an emerald cut stone, this is based off of this gemstones. So a little thing before we start getting into metaphysical uses and also the associations used with emerald. So how do you know if you have a real genuine emerald or not? Okay, so we as gemstone collectors are different types of people that do gemstones. You try to get authenticity when it comes to your materials that you buy. And I would hope, like when Jazemporium starts to sell gemstones and products, I obviously would want to outsource something where it's actually real gem material and not fake. Because that's the last thing you'd want to do, unless you're trying to swindle people for money, is to sell fake material. So how do you identify when an emerald is fake? So again, emerald is the hardest of 7.5 to 8 on the Mohs scale. Emerald should not be scratched up by metal. It is harder than metal. So again, anything lesser than 5, which is tooth enamel and steel, would scratch up an emerald. So if you have a fake emerald, emerald should be scratched up by metal if it's fake. It also will streak white. When you're doing a streak test in different types of gemstones, because you do a streak test, it should streak white or gray. Now, also too, if it's been dyed, you could put your gemstone in acetone, which is nail polish remover, acetone. And if the color leaks or if the color strays within the specimen, that means you got a fake one. It's been dyed. And again, emeralds, sometimes they try to make emerald that's fake from glass. So glass has bubbles in it. If you see an emerald having bubbles, which is not usually something that occurs within the gemstone, that means you got a dud and someone sold you a fake emerald, which again, if it was me, I'd be enraged. I'd be upset. I'd be like, why are you selling me fake stuff? Another thing too with emerald. So again, you know, if they sell you again a fake, you know, glass emerald, what's another thing? They also can make it in labs. So yes, much like rubies, sapphires, diamonds, there are lab grade emeralds. But again, it looks just as beautiful. It looks close to it, but it's not an emerald. Let's be real. Lab emeralds are going to be very different in their color variations. They're going to be very clear and manipulated to look very clear and, you know, see-through. Natural emeralds, again, because sometimes they would put oil in the gemstone to enhance its good qualities of how it looks, because it's called oiling. So to enhance the color or to enhance the beauty of the gemstone. Because emerald, yes, having a clear emerald, it's harder than you think. It's not commonly clear or when you're digging it from the ground, unless you have a really good high-grade AAA specimen. So most of the times there's going to be cloudy inclusions. And yes, people in the gem industry, they like to put oil in the gemstone, or what they call oiling, to make it look pretty and clear and transparent. So that's my interesting scientific facts about emerald. I will see you over in the next section to do with metaphysical properties of the emerald. I will see you there. Okay, so what are the metaphysical properties of this beautiful stone emerald? Okay, so emerald. When we look at the emerald, we have chakras in our bodies that rule our system. So emerald deals with the heart chakra. So the heart chakra, that's to do with giving and taking. It's to do with divine love. It's to do with giving and receiving love. So they say to hold the emerald at the left side of the body to receive love, and the emerald on the right side to give out that love. So the balance of giving and taking. Emerald's known as the stone of fidelity and loyalty. It is also a very honest gemstone too. So it deals with the communicational aspects of honesty, fidelity, and faithfulness. So if you have a lover that's straying, you might want to pop an emerald where that person is, or give a person an emerald. The act of giving and receiving love in a good place of that love. So emerald is associated with growth. So any type of growth in the body, like cancerous growths or any type of like warts or growths, this would be a good gemstone to treat it. Now, mind you, when I say that, I have to give a disclaimer, and I will always do this in the videos. Always go to the doctor and get yourself treated instead of just relying on gemstones. Combine both homeopathic and pharmaceutical, and or both, or however you choose to treat yourself. Do not just rely on the one gemstone to do all the healing work. Gemstones are only efficient if you work with the stone instead of against the stone. So emeralds, like I said, is about youth. It's about beauty. So any type of gemstone that you want to enhance your inner and outer beauty. So yes, reputatiously, emerald, because it's associated with a Venusian quality, will enhance beauty. So, but what is beauty? Is it outer beauty or inner beauty? Or maybe it will do both. See, yes, it can do the outer beauty very easily, but what really shines is the inner beauty on the inside. That shines it outward to make yourself look beautiful. So it's not all just about the looks. The emerald will shine your truest qualities and your best qualities out into the forefront. That makes you truly beautiful as a person, you being you. You do you, honey. Definitely with the emerald. So if emeralds are associated with the growth and the springtime, right? So again, it's got that resurrect quality. If in spells, yes, of course, you can use definitely emerald with combination of opal to have beauty spells, inner and outer beauty, so that you shine in the forefront. But also too, people never really talk about this. Emerald is also associated with renewal and resurrection. It's because it's got that growth and growth quality. So if you feel like something's been dead or dying out and you want to resurrect something, use an emerald in a resurrection spell. Use an emerald when you're trying to call up from the dead. And I'm not meaning spirits. I mean, you can use emerald to call up the dead, resurrection, but not in the way of, making people come back to life, but in spirit. So that's also a thing that can be used with emerald to do with spells and stuff like that. Another thing too, people don't talk about, emerald's got a very Mercury quality to it, which I will get into the next section of correspondences. But emerald is also used for memory and clairvoyancy. If you're a clairvoyant and you want to, or if you're thinking about going more into clairvoyancy, this is actually an excellent gemstone to have. For memory, clairvoyancy, studying, relaxation of the mind, to actually get a lot of information and facts with the emerald. So if you're having trouble remembering something, or if you're a bit on the forgetful side, emerald's a good ally to have. It actually makes the mental brain very sharp. It actually helps with clairvoyancy, to see things clearly, to objectively look at something very clearly, to communicate eloquently. So again, there's a very communicational thing with the emerald stone to do with that. Emerald, again, with other different types of spells, if you are a gardener or any type of person that likes to garden, alongside with moonstone, this is a good gemstone for when you're trying to grow plants. Another thing too, the emerald can protect against the kidneys. So when you're dealing with emerald, if you have kidney issues or heart issues or lung issues, these are actually pretty good. And also sometimes stomach issues. So, I mean, this gemstone helps with the general region of this body in the middle. It actually helps protects and strengthens these organs. Again, with the emerald, and also too the mental capacities too. Since if you tend to be a bit forgetful or clumsy, emerald's a good ally to also have, because it deals with the mental aspects of the mind too. Emerald also deals with people that have emotional issues to keep it in balance and check. It actually helps one actually share their emotions a bit better if they're a bit lackluster in that department too. Emerald deals with the growth of a person. So let's just say if you're a female, birth, infancy, childhood, teenagehood, etc., all the cycles of life. If you're transitioning to one phase to another, emerald's also very good for that. Another good thing emerald's really good for, and I should almost, because again, I'm being forgetful, no pun intended, and this is why I have these gemstones in front of me. Money and growth. So you want to grow your money, eh? You want to save your money, you want to, grow a little business, side business, or, a job and stuff like that? Ally with emerald. Emerald's very good at growing businesses, growing money. It's, again, because green is to do with money. Always keep your heart chakra open, because your heart chakra is your blessings. So keep your blessings open, keep your heart open. The minute your heart chakra is closed, your blessings won't come, because again, it's about that giving and taking, giving and receiving, the art of balance. The heart chakra balances universal love and love for all, and the all love of the self. So if your heart chakra is not balanced, you don't get your blessings. It's just that simple. It's good for also manifestation. So the emerald helps the growth in realizing your full potential and manifesting whatever needs to be manifested. So again, with the emerald stone, there's quite a number of things that you can do with this stone. If you're having an unruly teenager and she's having problems with, or he or she is having problems with communication or getting their self-expression down, or if you have problems with self-expression, emerald's good. Now, the career professions I would choose for an emerald would be doctors, healers, physicians, any type of therapist. It's good to getting into the bottom of things with emerald. It's good to get clarity and seek clarity. It's also good to deal with the emotional bodies. So anything that's very emotional based within a career setting. Beauticians would also benefit from the emerald stone, because emerald's to do with beauty and grace. Anything with estheticians, anything with makeup industry, artists would benefit from the stone, because it deals with the self-expression qualities and the creativity. Emerald also enhances your creativity. So if you want to do a spell to enhance your creativity, sunstone and emerald can be used adjacent with each other to enhance creativity. Any type of gemstone too to do with money and prosperity can also be aligned with emeralds, such as pyrite, jade, any aventurine, any type of green stones or gold. That's actually very beneficial when you're in conjunction and using them together. So again, with also more health issues, emerald deals with, again, mental clarity and mental health. So there's that aspect too. When you want to seek mental clarity and mental health, use an emerald. Emerald's very good to bring you out of poor moods that are keeping you down and keeping you renewed and refreshed. Now, again, with resurrection, and we talk about with emeralds, and I know I'm bouncing around a lot, but there's so much. Resurrection with emerald, again, because it's got that spring quality. So everything comes back to life. So with resurrection with the emerald, again, if you want to resurrect something, whether it be a lover, whether it be any type of old friends, or whether you just want to resurrect an old project that you're trying to get done, use emerald to start that, because this gemstone is also associated with new beginnings alongside with moonstone. So if you're on the beaten path, or you're starting a new project, entrepreneur, or any type of enterprise or anything like that, emerald is also very good if you want to start stuff, So again, use emerald for these specific things. Like this is a very useful stone. Emerald's also good for communication with lovers. It's also good to put in the bedroom if you want to spice things up a little bit, if you know what I mean, eh? Yeah. Alongside with garnet and carnelian. Whew. Hot in here, because there is that, again, seductive quality about emeralds and different gemstones. If you are trying to have self-love for yourself, this is another good gemstone to carry alongside with rose quartz. This is a very good gemstone to promote that self-love or that self-gratification. Yes, masturbation, all that stuff. Yep. Definitely an emerald stone, because again, it deals with self-love too, because in order to be good for someone to love somebody, you gotta love yourself. So I would say if you want to feel divine and decadent and, you know, be in your goddess energy, plop some of these in the bathtub with rose quartz. Have a glass of wine, or if you don't drink, do whatever you do that makes you feel self-love. Eat ice cream in the bathtub. I mean, do what you got to do for self-love, because heck, you want to feel like a goddess, regal, carry an emerald. Whoopsie. That I'll have to pick that up afterwards. My little clumsiness, again, with my hands, I'll have to focus more in carrying an emerald. So that's pretty much what an emerald does in the metaphysical departments. Again, also, if you have kidney issues, definitely use emerald, or any type of headaches too. If you want to have headache relief, emerald alongside with lapis lazuli are great gemstones to do with headache relief. It's also good if you're studying in school. So if you're trying to study and get good grades, and if you need a sense of concentration, emerald's a good ally. This is also good for people with ADHD that tend to lack focus. It's good to give them a piece of emerald, because this would actually help them concentrate better. You know, again, and if people that are dyslexic, this actually be a good gemstone to give them clarity of when they're seeing different things like numbers or different types of, you know, if they're seeing things backwards or anything like that. An emerald gives a sense of comforting and relief too. If you want to sit there and relax and just ponder the day and think, emerald's very good. And if you meditate a lot, emerald's very good for concentration when you're trying to meditate to get messages. I also find when I'm asleep at night, if I carry a piece of emerald, sometimes when you carry a piece of emerald, you get to dream of your life partners. You get to dream of also like prophecy dreams, just like holding a piece of jade. It's also good for sleep. Emerald's very good if you're trying to receive messages from the divine through clairvoyancy and or dream work. A lot of people don't talk about that about emeralds, because again, it gives mental clarity. So whatever messages are trying to be received from the divine will actually come down through that emerald stone and give you mental clarity to help you remember your dreams too, alongside with amethyst. So there's many great qualities that this gemstone has. You know, very versatile stone. So, I mean, why not use emerald should be the question. Instead of, well, how do I use an emerald, is what possibilities and what other endless possibilities can you use your emerald for? I mean, it's a very good gemstone to work with, I think. It's very neutral. It's not a chaotic and it's not energetic. The energy I get from emerald is very grounding and very earthy. So, okay, so that's the metaphysical properties of the emerald stone. I will see you in the next section to do a correspondences with emerald. Hello, welcome back. So we're going to deal with now the correspondence of these beautiful emerald stones. Okay, so what deities rule the emerald? So when you're thinking of emerald and things to do with emerald, the first thing you think, oh, Venus and Aphrodite. Yes. Any type of Venusian goddess. So we're not just talking about Venus and Aphrodite. We're talking about Ishtar, Aristotle. We're talking about any type of goddess to do with love can benefit from the stone. Making offerings to Aphrodite with the stone is very beneficial. So why Aphrodite and why Venus? Well, again, Venus is to do with beauty. So of course, Venus or any type of Aphrodite or any type of beautiful goddess, Ishtar, Aristotle, any of these other ones, Brie, this is again very divine feminine. Emerald is one of the divine feminine stones, so it's a very feminine energy, so it's receptive. Anything that's like blue, green, or anything like that passive color is feminine. Anything like red, black, it's dominant, it's masculine. So there's a very receptive quality to the emerald, so growth and beauty. So of course Aphrodite or any of the Venusian goddesses I listed is going to benefit from this stone. But we also need to talk about the other side of the emerald, which we don't normally mention. Mercury. Hermes, Mercury. So why the heck is it associated with Hermes and Mercury? Well, Mercury, again, a lot of people don't know this. Hermes, which would be equivalency of Mercury, would be the Roman aspect, would actually benefit with emerald, because emerald was also used in the Hermetic tablets, or the Hermes tablets, or the emerald tablets. It was carved a lot with the Hermeticism of Hermes. And again, to do with that mental clarity, Hermes was also known as the god of communication, merchants, Again, you can do business stuff with emeralds. So, I mean, it has that quality of keeping your mental mind sharp, which is a very Mercurian quality, or again, Hermes quality, right? So, and also too, if you work with ancestors, angels, and guides, it also deals with healing, which is Raphael, he who heals like God. So there's also that, I mentioned that it also deals with doctors and physicians, or anything to do with growth and healing, because there is that aspect of Mercury and or Raphael, which is also another form of Thoth, which is again Egypt, because emerald was used for Thoth to do with that part. So Hermes Trismegistus, thrice born. So there's 3 different aspects to Hermes throughout the times in history that the deity was accounted for within historical context. So another thing too, so planets that are associated with Mercury, or, well, that's one of them, but emerald is Venus and Mercury. So astrological signs that could benefit from the stone: Taurus, Libra, Gemini, Virgo, and yes, Cancer. And people are like, well, why Cancer? Cancer deals with the stomach and the breast area. So that's very beneficial because, again, emeralds can deal with those types of beauty parts or those types of stuff within the body. So again, if you, like I said, if you have any growths or cancer or breast cancer, this is also another gemstone to use for breast cancer or any type of stuff. But again, always seek medical treatment through a physician and get checked out and make the choice of how you choose to want to heal. Again, I will say that disclosure. So also too, within the Bible, breastplate of Aaron, it was one of the brothers of the breastplate that Aaron wore that was also associated with emeralds. So the number for the emerald would be 3 and 6. So 6 for its balancing qualities and 3 for its joy and happiness. The tarot card that's used for emerald would be the Empress. So again, it's got that regal, womany sort of diva energy of the divine feminine, you know, and knowing your worth. So this gemstone is also very good for knowing your worth. Self-love. Again, I did mention that previously in this context of self-love. The animal I would associate with this gemstone would be the cow. You're probably thinking, why the cow and the bull? Well, again, synonymous with Taurus, and again, it dates back to all the way back in Egypt, where they started worshiping the calf, which would actually be one of the goddesses. I don't want to say knew it, but it was one of the Egyptian goddesses that was the symbol, or the head was of the calf. Another thing with this gemstone too, with emerald, again, I would also associate hawks with emerald, because hawks are very perceptive, and it's one of the birds of Hermes and or Thoth and or Raphael. So hawks see a high perspective things. They circle around, not as high as eagles, but they're very perspective, and they use their talons to grab creatures, and they're very perceptive when they're looking for different preys to go and hunt. So those are the animals I would use for emerald. Another thing too, what type of essential oils would you use for emerald? Well, the rose. Because the act of giving and receiving love, rose is at a very high vibrational. I would also use for Venus, myrtle. Myrtle trees, because myrtles are actually very beautiful and very Venusian, and it's one of the trees of Venus. So myrtle, because it has that very Venusian quality. I would also use for Adler tree for speaking the truth, because emeralds are also known as, if you want to seek the truth and speak the truth, use an emerald. Another rose hip would be another one, or because again, rose hip would be also very Venusian. Again, for Hermes though, crocus. Why would I use emeralds for crocus? Because again, that is associated with Mercury and emeralds. A very, very Mercurian stone, or very, very Mercurian Hermes types of herb. Fennel, that would be another one I would use, because again, that Mercurian quality. Lavender. It all depends on what you're using that gemstone for. There's many different herbs and combinations that you could use. So for example, if you want to relax and meditate, use lavender and emerald. If you want to study and be focused, use a grounding energy like patchouli and emerald, which is also, side note, if you want a little extra cash, you know, emerald, dill, patchouli, vetiver. These are also good things to bring in prosperity and fortune, and cinnamon. So, I mean, there's many different things that you can do with an emerald stone. There's many different usages. I mean, emerald is one of those gemstones that have had a very rich, extensive folklore energy. It is very beautiful, and it's never left its luster. So I hope you do enjoy this video to do with emeralds. And if you like my content, please like, subscribe, and comment. Also bring love. And when my shop gets up and running, I will be selling these emerald products. So I hope you do enjoy and you would come by at my store when this gets up and running. So I hope you enjoyed this video very graciously, and I love to hear your comments and any other things I may have missed with the gemstone. For future references, if I go to remake any more videos to do with gemstones, that you can tell me if I've missed something. We do forget forgetful, but don't forget your emerald. Well, that's it for me for today, folks. Bye for now.